love him. Dr. Stephen Mulholland is here, cosmetic plastic surgeon from SpaMedica. Good morning.
Good morning, dear.
I'm very intrigued this morning. Before we get to the 5-minute nose job, I want to talk to you about the latest and greatest in cosmetic surgery and non-surgical procedures. Let's start off with the body, non-surgical.
Well, there's lots going on. There's a lot of people that are afraid of surgery, and the last 4 or 5 years has been a tremendous growth in opportunity for non-invasive. And so the number one thing, bar none, is the non-surgical fat melting.
Okay.
So it's now the depth of winter, it's cold, but one day you're going to look in the closet and oh yes, there's my bathing suit. You're going to try it on and go, oh my God, now what do I do?
Yeah.
Well, there's diet and exercise, and that works for most people, but there's those stubborn little areas that even diet and exercise can't touch, and that was usually just liposuction. We've got some new non-invasive ways to melt fat, something I call a lipo-lite program, where we have a little laser and a little injection and the fat cells melt away very safely.
You're kidding?
No.
So how much does it visibly reduce? Like, let's say there's a lot of even cellulite on the
Well,
fat.
cellulite's the lumpy bumpy stuff, and then fat's the wiggly jiggly stuff.
Okay.
I'm talking about the wiggly jiggly stuff
wiggly
you can
jiggly?
grab, and about an inch of treatment. So they come in about once every 4 to 6 weeks, and you can usually shrink about an inch of treatment.
Really?
Yeah.
And it's very little pain involved?
Well, there's always pain when you want to look your best, but it's, again, a very acceptable discomfort. Yeah.
Okay, not as invasive.
It's certainly not surgery. So there's a little needle sometimes, or a laser, there's a stinging, but to melt an inch of treatment, it's usually, most people find it acceptable.
Okay, now what about the face?
With the face, tightening. It's all about tightening and even skin, and so we've got obviously facelifts on the surgical side, but for those that are not inclined to surgery, then we've got new tightening devices, these refirm applicators. I think we did this on your show, where the brow's elevated, the skin is tightened.
Yes.
And Botox, which is the number one thing done in North America, but people are worried about looking like Nicole Kidman on the runway.
Expressionless.
Yes, a Conan O'Brien character, nothing moves but the mouth.
And it's so funny, we were talking earlier and you said they always say, oh, I just stay out of the sun. You're
Right.
like, no.
No, that's not sunblock.
Yeah.
There is a new treatment called Dermafirm, where we use Botox in very, very small amounts, and all it does is tighten the skin. Tones and tightens the skin, but it leaves you completely able to move.
Really?
Yeah.
So this is quite the advancement.
It is a big advancement. It's like Botox for skincare.
Now, who do you recommend this for? Because, I mean, some people start really, really young. Other people say you shouldn't. What is your general rule of thumb? Well,
there's two schools of thought. There's people like yourself, young, attractive, beautiful skin.
Go on, Stephen.
Yes,
I enjoy this description.
And I would call those prophylactic strikes, where you know you're not yet wrinkly, you're not yet aging, but you want to stop the hint of a line starting, the hint of some lines starting.
I've got that.
And you know, that might be a bit on the too much side if you go overboard on your preventative treatments. Stay out of the sun and sunblock. Then once you start to get lines and wrinkles, or you're starting to deflate and sag, you've had a couple of kids, you know, the job is a stress and a strain, then the non-surgical things like photofacial and Botox and some fillers, very, very common. Usually you got to wait until you're significantly droopy or saggy for the body and the face to have surgery, and you've got to be accepting of the risks, and there is risks with all surgery.
I love that you say that. Let's walk over now. I want to get, I'm so curious about this. You will be performing the 5-minute nose job today. Now tell us a bit about how this works. Good morning, ladies. We've got Rose and Malou here. Very brave of you to do this morning.
Well, when we come back, I'm going to reveal here, I think for the first time on Canadian television, what I call a 5-minute nose job. It is still the number 3 procedure done. After all these years, no surgery.
Really?
But with surgery comes the risk of anesthetic and recovery and bruising. What I'm going to do is a treatment that in about 5 minutes can address the most common types of problems people have with their nose.
Which are?
Well, there's 2 types of noses I see. Big bumps and scoops. So not a strong enough bridge and too strong a bridge, or the tip is too wide or the tip is too narrow. And using a little bit of Restylane, which is the most common injected soft tissue filler, it's just a little sugar. When we come back, I'll show you what you can do with a nose that you're not happy with without any risk.
Okay, so for the next few minutes, you're going to take these lovely ladies away, and you're going to do the 5-minute nose job, and when they come back, we will see the final results.
You'll see the before and after in 5 minutes, makeup on, back to work.
This is unbelievable. Can't wait. So stay tuned. That's going to happen at about 8:10 or so. So stay tuned. Good morning. Time is 8:11. Here he is, the master, Dr. Stephen Mulholland. Very cool. You did it in 5 minutes, as you promised.
2 minutes each nose.
That's it. 2-minute nose job. And now we're going to take a look. First up, we're going to look at a before shot of Malou. Before she had the 2-minute nose job. Do we have it? So there's the now tell us what you were looking at here.
Well, what you're looking at is the first type of nose variant, which is what I would call a scoop or a ski jump. The bridge is not strong, and you want to bring the bridge out to give better facial contours, and that's what we did.
Very subtle though,
Yeah.
right?
Yep. She's got a little. The tip is stronger than the bridge. The bridge comes out from between the eyes. You want to give a little more strength to the bridge.
Okay, and 2-minute nose job later. Let's take a look at the after. Gorgeous.
And again, you can see on the bridge how the bridge has come out, how we brought this bridge out from between the eyes now, straight down to the tip, and really creates a much more subtle but a pleasing, strong nasal contour, which is a lot of people with ski jumps want that.
And you know what's cool? We can show you the reveal right now. Are you curious, Malou, or what? You're like, enough of this chit chat. I want to see it. Take a look at the side. Turn to the side. What do you think?
Amazing.
Now, how did it feel?
You won't feel any.
You didn't feel anything?
No, nothing at all.
Aren't you impressed? Look at that. Is
I know.
great.
It's a big difference, eh?
How long does this last?
The product that I use, Restylane, is about 4 to 6 months. So they try on the new nose. If they really like it, then we got some long-term gel fillers that will last for years and years and years. So it really,
that's great.
really minimizes the risk of the recovery and the bruising and the downtime.
And it takes the fear out of, will I like it, won't I like it?
Right,
It's because,
right.
like you said, you can try different things, 4 to 6 months.
And some people try the injection 5-minute nose job, and if they like it, then they might go to surgical. But it gets them, they can try on a nose in their life, in their lifestyle, for about half a year.
And you're fine. Like, you can go to work right now. Look at that. No sign of it. Up next, we're going to look at Rose's before shot, before her 2-minute nose job.
You can see Rose there has a bump. Her nose comes higher. It's a higher bridge, but then there's a bump, and that can happen from trauma, hereditary issues, or even previous nose jobs.
Okay.
And it's that bump, the lack of a straight bridge, that bothers some patients, and Rose represents that kind of nose.
Okay, again, let's take a look at the after shot now of Rose after her 2-minute nose job. How cool is this?
And again, you can just stay still, please, Rose. You can see a nice straight bridge that, stay still, a nice straight bridge that, that now comes out from between the eyes and goes straight down to the tip where that little bump and irregularity and dip used to be.
Unbelievable. Do you want to take a look? Hi, Rose.
Hi.
Are you excited?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah? Take a look to the side. Ta-da! What do you think?
That's amazing.
Now, were you at all nervous?
No, not at all. No.
And it was bugging you for a while? Is it one of those
Oh, it
things
was
where you
just
said,
something I thought worth trying, and I was curious.
Yeah.
And yeah, it's worth it.
did it hurt at all?
No.
Not at all?
No, no.
Painless?
Well, there's the freezing, like going to a dentist, and once you've got the freezing on the skin of your nose, then there's absolutely no pain at all.
Okay, now if people do want to visit you, they can come to SpaMedica.
Yep.
And you always have the consultation first, so they don't have
Yes.
to be afraid. You will talk
Right.
to them about their options
Yep.
and tell them what's best.
Yeah, I have them look in the mirror, tell me what they don't like about their nose. Sometimes we take a computer picture and I simulate what the changes could be so they get a sense of that. And then if they're nervous about nose surgery, as many people are, this injection nose job, this 5-minute procedure, really takes the fear out of it.
Okay, it sounds great. Thank you so much again for participating. You did a wonderful job as always. For more info, you could go to SpaMedica.com or call Dr. Stephen Mulholland's office at 416-922-3743. Enjoy your new noses, ladies. You look fabulous.
Thank you.
Coming up on the News Hour, if you're in the market for a new nose, well, there's a new trend. We'll tell you about the new procedure that doesn't require a knife.
It's been a busy day in the newsroom. Let's get started. The News Hour begins right now.
Awarded Best Newscast, The News Hour with Leslie Roberts and Ann Muskowski.
It seems like every other week, another celebrity is getting plastic surgery. However, not everyone's up for the idea of being under the knife for hours, not to mention the potential for weeks of recovery. But what if we told you that there's a nose job that can be done on your lunch break? Mina Ree has the details, but a warning, some of the images may make our sensitive viewers a little squeamish.
They say it's caused them to feel insecure their entire lives.
Years ago at school, you know, all the bullying and everything. You have a big nose, you have a crooked nose.
It's made me feel very self-conscious. So in photographs, I always make sure that I'm looking dead on. I don't ever turn my head.
Julie Mapera wishes her sunglasses would just stay put.
I don't have a nose bridge.
We're going to do our 5-minute nose job today. It'll be over before you know it.
A nose job in a matter of minutes? It's possible, thanks to a syringe instead of the dreaded scalpel.
Okay, it looks great, Julie. I might do 100 surgical nose jobs a year, but I'll do 150 to 200 injection nose jobs. I use the sharp needle only to get under the skin.
The rest is done with something called a microcannula, which has a blunt tip to minimize swelling.
Displaces veins, doesn't lacerate them or injure them, so you don't get the same bruising.
It's all done with one poke. Multiple areas of the nose filled in with Juvederm. Local anesthetic is built right into the gel.
We're done. It's kind of ironic. We make it bigger to make it look smaller. Becomes an optical illusion.
Apparently, this all began as a sort of experiment with Dr. Mulholland initially using saline to show prospective nose job patients what they could expect following plastic surgery. Then it occurred to him that he could use the same injectables that he was using to build up the cheeks and chins of other patients to achieve a longer lasting result.
So your tip doesn't plunge anymore. And look how straight your bridge is.
The procedure allows those contemplating rhinoplasty to try on a nose, with results lasting up to 2 years.
It's got lidocaine in it. It lasts a long time. It's reversible.
All of this to prevent the so-called Michael Jackson effect, where constant surgical tweaking whittled away at his cartilage. Bumps filled, bridges built. There's no downtime once the so-called 5-minute nose job is done.
It's very strange to see yourself initially, no bump, and so fast. It's going to take me a little bit to get used to it and to recognize that when I see myself in the profile, it's going to look completely different.
Mina Ree, Global News.
It's been called the 5-minute nose job.
People in search of the perfect I don't know how to say
proboscis.
Proboscis now have an easier and cheaper alternative to surgery. CTV's Avis Favreau reports.
It's a nose job in a syringe that's done in about 5 minutes without the risk of surgery.
It's an increasingly popular procedure because even without surgery, there can be dramatic effects.
Very pronounced bump, and you can see tremendous improvement. A very, very small amount of product, half of a syringe just above the bump and below the bump, and now your eye flows off the eyebrow, down the nose to the tip.
Other results are very subtle.
When you look at your nose, what bothers you?
And instead of $6,000 for a surgical nose job, the nose job in a needle is about $1,000 to $2,000.
Very nice, that is perfect.
And there's less recovery time.
Nice. See that nice straight bridge?
This procedure can't make big noses smaller, and there's a small risk of infection or allergic reaction to the filler.
So I like it like right from here.
But it's the only nose job the patient can direct. In some cases, it's all in the nose of the beholder. Avis Favreau, CTV News, Toronto.
All week, we've been taking you behind the scenes of Hollywood's hottest new beauty breakthroughs. In tonight's Beauty SOS, we're on the scent of the next best quick fix.
The 5-minute nose job is great for those people that look in the mirror and they go, ugh, whenever they see their nose.
And that's exactly how media relations exec Jill Millman reacts when faced with a mirror.
There's a bit of an over and then an under that sort of hooks out here.
But does a 5-minute fixer-upper sound too good to be true? Well, plastic surgeon to the stars, Dr. Stephen Mulholland, says if you can stand a little pain, the proof is in the procedure.
Many patients do put their makeup and go back to work. However, I do caution patients that there is some discomfort and some throbbing. Imagine someone punched you in the nose. It throbs for, a few hours after.
Unlike a conventional nose job, this procedure doesn't use knives or need anesthetics. Just a few injections of a product called Perlane.
A little bit of a super tip break there.
And the Perlane procedure has an added bonus.
If you're not happy with your surgical nose, you're out of luck. There's really no going back. This allows you some sense of reversibility. Okay, we're done.
In literally 5 minutes and at a cost of around $1,000, Jill's nose is transformed.
Wow.